needs and are committed to helping you make it happen. At DKP & Co Chartered Accountants, we are more than just accountants. We are business advisors, taxation consultants, and strategists that specialise in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website dkpco.com.au or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
Pickett, she lays it off Teresa Polias. It's an absolute peach. Ayres driving. What a hit from Melina Ayres. Wow. And Sam Kerr has a hat-trick. Minamar, 1-0.
It's grand final week here on Radio Dub on FNR Football Nation Radio, the best week of the A-League women's season. I'm Josh Parrish. I've got my sidekick, Pokuah Frimpong, alongside me as always. Pokuah, how are you?
I'm doing good. Josh, sidekick, let's...
It felt wrong as I said it.
I'm just
apologise.
saying,
if anything, you're Batman, I'm Robin.
It's more like, Nightwing. I was not really a sidekick, but just exceptionally awesome is what I would say.
Well, you know who else is exceptionally awesome? Who's had an incredible season and had an incredible preliminary final on the weekend is our first guest from the Melbourne Victory, the on-fire goal scorer extraordinaire, all-action winger, Lia Privitelli joins us now. Lia, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
And that's an absolute pleasure. Tell us, this Victory squad has come together at the absolute perfect time. You've hit a purple patch of form. Just how have you turned this season around so quickly?
It's been a really tough season, to be honest with you guys. We were playing, every 3 days, and we were struggling towards the end of that. And then I think a little bit of rest has actually helped us, and we've been able to, put all that form together and match fitness as well. And have started the final series really, really strong.
Now, this team, incredible as always, but some, different players come in, and what's it been like to adjust and really find the type of playing style that really fits for this team and that's made you guys so successful throughout this, this latter part of the season?
Yeah, well, look, our squad we've got great depth, and, started in the first round of the season where we had that horrible injury to our captain. And from then, everybody had to, play their role and play their part in whatever was needed by Jeff, be it, in a different position or whatnot. And we're so tight as a unit that we would do anything for this team and for this club, that we just rolled our sleeves up and said, well, whatever Jeff needs, we'll get done.
Speaking of which, you had a few games at fullback this season. You've played in a few different roles, but back in your natural spot on the right wing, is that the position you prefer?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been a defender in my life, so it was something that I had to really work on. But I'm definitely feeling much more comfortable down in the forward line.
You've scored a few goals throughout the season. Do you have a standout goal that's just kind of been like, that was the best thing I've done?
Oh, it's a tough one. To be fair, a lot of my goals have been either tap-ins or very close to the goal. But the one on the weekend, had to top it off. It's a preliminary final to get us into the big dance on the weekend. To score the third one, which was, I'd like to call the sealer, was probably the highlight this year.
Well, I hope you thanked Alex Chidiac after that goal, because she had to hustle for that one. Just shook off a couple of defenders to get the ball into the box.
Kid's hustled the entire game and has hustled all year. She's just an absolute workhorse and doesn't stop. And she knows how much not only myself but the rest of the girls appreciate it and value everything she does for us.
that celebration really stood out. You sort of led a conga line of players all the way from the goal to the bench to celebrate with the coaching staff and the subs there. I mean, that's got to sum up, the unity of this group.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we're best mates. Like a core group of us have actually been training together since like July, August when Melbourne was in lockdown. So we've been together for a really, really long time, and knowing that we could extend our season for one more week, it means a lot to me, and I'm sure it means a lot to everyone else in the squad, because we just want to keep hanging out with each other, to be honest.
See, that's a good thing, because honestly, if you didn't get along, then I don't think your team would come as far, and I think team unity definitely goes a long way. Looking ahead to the grand final, on the weekend, what's your mindset for that game, and what do you think is there any tactical matchups that you really got you're looking out for?
To be honest, I'm nervous. I think anyone walking into a grand final would be nervous. Sydney are a really, really good team, and they're a top team, and they've been the standard all year. So in terms of tactics, every single one of our players, be it starting 11 or on the bench, you're just going to have to give the best games of their lives, because it's going to be tough. And I don't think we can just, walk out of the field and think it's going to be easy, because it's not. So we're just all going to have to give our best game and hope for the best.
Later on in the show, we are going to show an interview we had with Ali Green, who's going to be, if you are starting on the game of the weekend, should be your direct opponent. Are you going to, try to do some fancy tricks to try beat her out so we can get another good goal?
I actually listened to the commentary of the game the other night, and I think one of the commentators said I'm not a flashy player, and they're absolutely right. So I think I'm just going to stick to my strengths, which is not doing the flashy sort of tricks, and just hopefully either set someone up or score a goal myself.
Lia, I want to dig into some of your career history and so forth, because it hasn't all been plain sailing. I know you had a lot of injuries when you were younger, some surgeries as well.
Yeah, I've had my fair share of surgeries. I've had actually 4 hip surgeries in my time. I think 2 when I was 17, 18, and the most recent in lockdown prior to last season. I had another 2 then. But mixed in with that, I've had a couple of concussions and whatnot. So I've been riddled with injuries, but I think the extended pre-season this year really helped me and my body get through. Is
that obviously the extended pre-season, but for a lot of female footballers, they've got to do 2 things at once. And if I'm not mistaken, you are a PE teacher as well?
Yeah, I'm a high school teacher, so I teach 7 to 9 health and PE, and I've got a VCE class as well.
Now, are they hyping you up for this grand final? Are they putting the big screen on? Is everybody coming in to watch Miss Privitelli score a wonder goal?
To be fair, I think some of my Year 12s asked if I could buy them tickets to come to Sydney, and I just had to remind them that I don't earn that much. But yeah, look. Some of my students actually don't know I play, but some of the kids I've had for a little while who are now in the senior school, they get around it and every Monday they go, "Oh, Miss, I saw your game on the weekend." So yeah, look, I think a fair chunk of the kids are getting around it, which is really nice.
It's so funny that the A-League women's players live this kind of double life sometimes. Like you said, some of these students don't even know, and you're a PE teacher. I mean, we heard earlier today, I saw on Twitter that Melina Ayres, some of her co-workers thought she was a netballer. So, I mean, it's amazing that, your heroes on the weekend, but it is kind of back to reality every week on the job, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not at the stage where I want to give up either job, because I love playing football and I love teaching. So I'm really lucky that I get to balance both. I guess my social life takes a pretty big hit, but and the club and Jeff have been amazing, allowing me to do both.
Surely, if you guys win on the weekend, next PE, next class, you just guys, you know what? We're watching a tactical class of football. We're learning football this week. Tactical class. Watch my team do a master class. Is that what happens if you win the grand final?
If we win the grand final, I won't be going to work on Monday. That's for sure.
That's the right answer. So, I mean, tell us about your teammates that you've played with this season. Is there anyone who you have a particularly strong connection with off the pitch?
Oh, that's actually a really good question. Like I said before, like we're a really tight-knit group. So I wouldn't single out anyone really. I guess Kayla Morrison has been a big one for me. Like I said before, she got injured in round one. She was our rock, our captain, and then I had to kind of fill her shoes, which are pretty big shoes to fill, but she's been awesome for me, a really good sounding board as well. And then, we've got some of the players that I've played for years with, and then players I've never played before, like Chids, who I would consider myself like quite good friends with now. So it's good that we've got such a good group that we all like hanging out with each other. We like hanging out with each other, before training, after training, any spare minute. Like they really become family. So, singling out people can't really do. It's a really, really awesome environment to be around.
You mentioned Kayla. I've seen all season the nice touch of having her jersey, hanging on the back of the bench there. She's part of the journey still too, even if she can't take the field.
Oh, absolutely. Kayla's at every single training session. She's very much still part of the squad, even though she's not walking out with us on game day. She's been instrumental, and I can't wait to have her back on the field.
Obviously, the back end of the season has been, a really, really tough. And how did you as a group, kind of overcome that really constant, constantly playing games and, losing games here and there, but trying to maintain that top four kind of spot?
It was actually a bit of a blur, to be honest. It just went so quickly. I think it was 23 days, 7 games. So it was play one game, look on to the next, and just try and keep our spirits high. And one thing Jeff has always said about us is, even if we didn't have, the best game or the best result, the next training session would all be there having a good time, laughing, and then focusing on the next thing. So I think the word unity speaks big for us, not just, off the field, but being able to get through really tough passages like a big chunk of games.
How tough has it been on the body as well, that, incredible backlog of fixtures that you had? I mean, it was just ridiculous. You were playing a game every 2 or 3 days for a while there to make up for all those lost fixtures.
Yeah, look, I'm not as young as some of the other players in our team, although I might look young. I'm almost 28, so my body's feeling a little bit tired, a little bit sore, but it's been tough. But like I said, we prioritise our recovery. Our medical team are fantastic. They work overtime. They give us all the recovery options for us to use. So yeah, I can't fault them, but they've been awesome this year and really help some of the older players keep up with the younger ones.
Well, I think you're doing all right. I mean, I'm surprised you can walk after 4 hip surgeries. That's unbelievable. So to see you in this kind of fitness, yeah, I bet.
4 hip surgeries, I'd be like, guys, I'm just, from now on, I'm in a bed. I'm not even trying to get up. I'm not even risking it.
I think that's what my mum said.
Lia, as you said, you are you're almost 28, and the Dubs, age is quite young. And how do you, how do you go about mentoring, or even just even this season, being in a different kind of leadership role? How do you go about, guiding the younger players in the team and even in the league?
I think maybe it comes a little bit naturally to me because I am a teacher and I'm dealing with younger kids all the time. Having said that, our young ones, the likes of Paige Zoyce, Maya Markovsky, Polly Doran, they're actually quite, and they're going to laugh at me by saying this, but they're actually quite mature for their age in terms of their football brain. But they just get on with it, and they've handled everything that's been thrown to them really well this season, and absolute credit to them.
It must be so weird to, go from teaching these kids and then to the weekend you got players of a similar age as teammates.
Yeah, Paige Zoyce, who's 18 now, she was actually a mascot for me one time when I was walking out on the field, and we've got this awesome photo where
I think I've seen this photo actually. Was
she's
this on
tiny.
Twitter?
Yeah.
Yes, I think I've seen this photo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cute photo.
Have you done a recreation?
Nah, not yet.
Surely, if you win,
that's a good idea.
if you win on the weekend, surely redo the photo, but this time with the trophy in there as well.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I think Paige would be down for that.
100%. Well, in last season's grand final, you won in the most dramatic circumstances possible. The Karakuni Cross Olympico in the last minute. It was such a tense match. What are you expecting from this game and from Sydney FC?
I have no doubt that it's going to be a really competitive game. Hopefully similar to last year, but if we can hopefully get it done in 90 minutes instead of 120.
That would be nice to calm the nerves at least.
Absolutely.
I'd be sitting on the couch just stressing. I'm not going to put any predictions out because I'm too nervous and I don't want to jinx anybody. So I'm just going to be sitting in the chair just trying to figure out what the hell's going on in the game.
We have some family there, Leah?
Yeah, I actually have quite a few people who are going to fly down, which will be nice. My mum, my dad, my brother, my sister, my boyfriend's going to come as well, and then a couple of people from work actually. Which will be fun.
Surely, you got to have the school banner, got to represent the school, be like, guys, you can be taught by an A-League women's champion. Surely that should be the next billboard for the school that you're teaching at.
Let's just focus on the game and we'll see how it goes.
Sydney FC have a pretty impressive record, especially in New South Wales. They've got rock solid backline. I mean, it's a daunting task to try and break this team down. But you had a pretty spirited comeback against them when you played them at George Cross.
Yeah, like I've said, Sydney have been the benchmark all year, and they're so competitive. They're tactically good. They're technically good, and I guess it was just we knew that we needed to get some sort of result that game, and kind of came out of nowhere. We got a little bit of momentum in that second half after we scored the first goal, and then classic Zim leaves us hanging for the 90th minute winner. It'll be really, really tough, but I'm excited for it.
Is there one thing that you guys have really, trying to focus on heading into the grand final on the weekend?
To be honest, we're still in that recovery stage. Like we had yesterday off, and today was more of a recovery session, just getting the game out of our legs. So I guess the next lot of training sessions will be really focusing on Sydney and how we can nullify and really, I guess, use our strengths against theirs.
You must draw some confidence from how many chances you were able to generate against Melbourne City on the weekend. I mean, you could have been 4 or 5 away at halftime, barring some errant finishing. So, is that something that you're looking to do again? Come out of the blocks really early and put the pressure on? Yeah,
absolutely. Like if we reflect, from the first half of the season, we weren't creating nearly as many chances as we have in the last couple of games. So hopefully we have our scoring boots on and we can finish more of the ones we create, because like you said, we could have been 4 or 5-0 up.
All right, last one from me, Leah, before we let you go. When you go into a big game, do you think about a goal celebration if you score? Because we had Maya Markovsky on a couple of weeks ago. She's always got something in the bag. For it. She wouldn't say what it was on air. She said she wanted to surprise us. But do you think about that, or do you just go with your instinct?
Nah, we don't. I definitely don't plan on. We've got a team one that we're conjuring, but I don't know if we will be able to pull it off. To be honest, but if I score, I usually just run and I lose all aspect of what's going on and just jump and celebrate.
I think that's the appropriate, celebration. I love the running one where everybody's just confused and everyone's in shock that they've scored. I always love that. It's one of my favorites.
That's me. I don't score often, so I shock myself and then I just run away.
Well, Leah, we might see you running away in celebration this weekend. The best of luck for it. You got plenty of support in the stands. I'm sure the Victory away fans will be out in forces as well as your families and so forth. Best of luck at Kogarah. We can't wait for what's going to be a thrilling match.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Lia Privitelli from Melbourne Victory, the stand-in captain. after Kayla Morrison went down early in the campaign. She's had big shoes to fill, but she's done it with aplomb. We're going to go to a break, but Pokuah, we're going to pick our teams of the season as well.
Yeah, Josh, you can fend for yourself because
Okay.
You can fend
We've
for
been
yourself.
threatening this segment for a while now, and we've also got that interview that Pokuah mentioned with Ali Green coming up as well. So don't go anywhere here on Radio Dub.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Are you looking to change your destiny in life? Be your own boss? Start your own business? If you are, you need people who understand your needs and are committed to helping you make it happen. At DKP & Co Chartered Accountants, we are more than just accountants. We are business advisors, taxation consultants and strategists that specialise in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website dkpco.com.au or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
With this great sporting nation who has yet to embrace fully the world's greatest game, and for so long of trying to have the game accepted. When I'm up to the big football field in the sky, I just want people just to remember I told you so.
And suddenly the complexion of the game changes. Let's hope it doesn't, but this is the best period for Iran in the match. Ali Dodi, danger for Australia here, the flag's down! It's an equaliser!
You just feel for them, not just the boys, they are representative of so many people who make this game their life. It's just, I can't say anything, mate.
All right.
Especially as they have the impetus. Aloisi, Cahill, Tim Cahill has done it again! What a goal by Tim Cahill! 2-1 Australia! Oh, it's a wonderful moment in Kaiserslautern! And Tim Cahill has come off the bench and maybe won the match for the Socceroos.
You're listening to FNR, Football Nation Radio.
Ronaldinho gathers speed past Ramos. Elguera comes to meet him. He goes past Elguera. Ronaldinho at his very best. Unstoppable.
You're listening to FNR, Football Nation Radio.
Maloney takes, and it's in!
It's Ben Watson. It's Ben Watson for Wigan Athletic. They've surely won the FA Cup. For Dave Whelan, for Roberto Martinez. You just cannot write scripts like this.
Are you looking to change your destiny in life? Be your own boss? Start your own business? If you are, you need people who understand your needs and are committed to helping you make it happen. At DKP & Co Chartered Accountants, we are more than just accountants. We are business advisors, taxation consultants and strategists that specialise in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website dkpco.com.au or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
We're this great sporting nation who has yet to embrace fully the world's greatest game, and for so long of trying to have the game accepted. And when I'm up to the big football field in the sky, I just want people just to remember I told you so.
And suddenly the complexion of the game changes. Let's hope it doesn't, but this is the best period for Iran in the match. Danger for Australia here, the flag's down! It's an equaliser!
You just feel for them. Not just the boys, they are representative of so many people who make this game their life. It's just, I can't say anything, mate.
All right. Especially as they have the impetus. Aloisi, Cahill, Cahill! Tim Cahill has done it again! What a goal by Tim Cahill! 2-1 Australia! Oh, it's a wonderful moment in Kaiserslautern! And Tim Cahill has come off the bench and maybe won the match for the Socceroos.
You're listening to FNR, Football Nation Radio.
Ronaldinho, gathers speed, past Ramos. Elguera comes to meet him. He goes past Elguera. Ronaldinho at his very best. Unstoppable.
You're listening to FNR, Football Nation Radio.
Maloney takes, and it's in! It's Ben Watson! It's Ben Watson for Wigan Athletic! They've surely won the FA Cup! For Dave Whelan, for Roberto Martinez! You just cannot write scripts like this!
Pickett, she lays it off to Reza Polias. Ronaldinho gathers speed, past Ramos. Elguera comes to meet him. He goes past Elguera. Ronaldinho at his very best. Unstoppable.
You're listening to FNR, Football Nation Radio.
We're this great sporting nation who has yet to embrace fully the world's greatest game, and for so long of trying to have the game accepted. And when I'm up to the big football field in the sky, I just want people just to remember I told you so.
And suddenly the complexion of the game changes. Let's hope it doesn't, but this is the best period for Iran in the match. Danger for Australia here, the flag's down! It's an equaliser!
You just feel for them. Not just the boys, they are representative of so many people who make this game their life. It's just, I can't say anything, mate.
All right.
Especially as they have the impetus. Aloisi, Cahill, Cahill! Tim Cahill has done it again! What a goal by Tim Cahill! 2-1 Australia! Oh, it's a wonderful moment in Kaiserslautern! And Tim Cahill has come off the bench and maybe won the match for the Socceroos.
You're listening to FNR, Football Nation Radio.
Certificate of occupancy over potentially the weekend. And
Pickett, she lays it off to Reza Polias. It's an absolute peach. Is driving. What a hit from the leader is. Wow.
And Sam Kerr has a hat-trick.
It is
grand final week here on Radio Dub, FNR Football Nation Radio. I'm Josh Parrish. I've got Pokuah Frimpong alongside me as always, and we're delighted to be joined now by one of the stars of the Premiership winning Sydney FC team. Left back Ali Green joins us now. They're looking to do the double on the weekend. How are you, Ali?
Good, thanks. How are you guys? Thanks for having me.
We are doing really well. We're very excited. We've got to say, grand final week is always a special time.
You know, I'm also doubly happy because, Josh, I did say Sydney FC were my pick to make the finals and win it all at the start of the year. So I'm saying,
actually.
I am a bit of a fortune teller. I'm just saying, you know, maybe I might do a few more predictions. Who knows?
I think I'm still ahead in the finals game-to-game predictions.
Let it go.
Okay.
I'm just saying, you know, maybe I might do a few more predictions. Who knows?
I think I'm still ahead in the finals game-to-game predictions.
Let it go.
Okay,
You don't. Bragging's not good.
Rematch of last season's decider, Ali. It must be great to be able to have the opportunity to go one better than last time out. It's the revenge game.
It is the revenge game. I can't believe it's happened this way again. But you know, Melbourne are, you know, they've even said it themselves. They're a great finals team, and they've pushed their way into that fourth spot at the brink of the end of the season. And credit to them. They've done well in their two semi-finals to bring them to this grand final again. And we're super excited to have that chance to get revenge and hopefully, you know, put out a great performance as a team and lift the trophy at the end. But yeah, just focusing on this last week of training for now.
Heading into the finals, do you guys look back on the film from the last year's grand final, or are you just focused on this one and just maybe look at the games from this season with Victory?
Yeah, I mean, I think Victory obviously have a few different players in their team this year as to what they had last year, and they work differently in ways. They've got some great players, like individually, like Alex Chidiak, and those kind of players you kind of have to, refocus as a group and make sure that, you know, you're doing your job to shut down those quality players. And but I think, you know, last year we've lost players like Teresa Playa, so we have like a different game plan around this grand final too. And I think it was evident that we played really well against Victory now in our midweek game this season against them. It was a pretty heavy week for us, and I think now we've got, you know, that little bit of rest as well. Hopefully we can put out an even better performance on Sunday.
Speaking of Teresa, the team is a lot younger than they were last season. It's a much younger group. Who's that like vocal leader of the more experienced players that, you know, hypes you guys up for the finals and even throughout the season as you go along?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Nat Tobin has come in, taken a brilliant responsibility over from Teresa Polias as captain this year, and obviously she's our most experienced player, and the fact she's been at Sydney for about 10 years now, which is crazy to think because she's still so young herself. So obviously natural leaders like that, and she's worn the band this season, but we've got experience, you know, right from the back from Jada. She's, you know, played a lot of A-League women's now, so she's very vocal always, as a keeper should be. But yeah, it leads up to the front. I mean, there's experience up there too. Even though we're young, we've all had a few seasons under our belt now. So yeah, we're ready to fill in the gaps where we can.
Unbeaten in New South Wales this season. You've got the final on home turf. That must give you a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I didn't realise that, but it's true. Yeah, it's an exciting thing, I guess, having another home final. We're pretty lucky in that way. Not many clubs or teams get to experience that, consecutively over the last couple of years. So it's something we have to take in our advantage and use it to the best of our ability by putting out a strong performance. And obviously we have, you know, our friends and family there to support us, but you can't ever take it for granted too much. We lost the grand final at the same grandstand last year, so we'll have to do everything we can to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Something that's different about this year's grand finals. Obviously, you guys get the week off, and it's a new finals format. I want to just get your opinion on: do you like the new finals format, and also what do you do as a player during that week off to, you know, kind of prep yourself, because it is a new experience?
Yeah, it has been a bit different in many ways, I guess. Obviously we're used to playing our semi-final and the following week be the grand final straight away. But I think, we actually had a really tough game against Melbourne City. We played 120 minutes against them, which really did feel like a grand final in itself. So those games do take quite a bit to recover from, and I think, we were still quite sore at the end of last week. So I think it's been a good advantage that we've been able to have the week off. Definitely something that, plays in your mind a bit as whether you want the momentum to go into the final the following week or not. But we're just hoping that, we've refreshed up enough that we can be ready to go again on Sunday.
Take us through that semi-final then. 2-0 down, and the game was just flipped on its head. It was such a dramatic match. What stood out to you from that night?
Yeah, it was extremely disappointing that we went into halftime 1-0 down. I felt like, even though City were playing some really good football, we still had good momentum and we had chances that we created that we just didn't put away. And we went into halftime actually quite positive. I mean, we felt that a goal was coming definitely, and but going into the second half, we conceded again, and it was 2-0, and it was a big roller coaster of emotions. And then, getting that one goal back really gave us some hope, and we still had time left on the clock, and it was amazing that Rojas could convert that one right in the dying minutes. But I felt like we deserved it, and we had chances like Courtney Vine going in on goal before the card was given, and things like that. So I think fate kind of gave us that goal in the end. But we worked hard for it, and we never gave up, and that just proved to work in extra time as well when we scored those other 2 goals that we deservedly got to.
Your front three gets a lot of the headlines because they score a lot of goals and they're quite prolific, and especially in that midfield as well with Hawkesby, they combine really well. But that defence has been really solid all year, and you've had different people come in and out, and you've really bonded and, being united no matter what the lineup is. What's the secret behind that, really great defence that you guys have?
Yeah, I don't know. I think about it sometimes too. I just go, wow, I can't believe how, amazing we've all worked together this year. Take the likes of Charlie. She's, only played a few inconsistent seasons, not because she's not a good enough player, but she's always had, such competition up against her in the midfield. She actually plays number 10 is her natural position. So for her to, kick back out on the right back, just like she's, never played it, but it's like, what the hell, Charlie? Like, you're a freak. She's just come into her own strides, and it's the same with Charlotte McLean. She's, hardly played A-League for 2 seasons now, yet she's started every game that she's come into the team. So players like that, and then, of course, Nat Tobin, who's so versatile, and she can play centre-back or a 6 or wherever you need her, really. So I think, just being able to play those games consistently together for the past couple seasons has really helped us in our way this season too.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that about Charlie, because I think she made my team of the season at right back. So I had no idea she was a number 10 naturally. That goes to show just how comfortably she's slotted into that position.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of tell in the way with her feet, she's so good technically in tight spaces, and that's certainly become because of her, tight ball control in the midfield that she's had for all those seasons growing up. But, I mean, our midfield's so competitive, and, every single one that's in there now, starting or not starting, they could fill any other A-League team. So it's quite bizarre that Charlie's ended up at right back, but Ante's obviously seen that she's good enough there, and she's good enough there. So it's good for her to have that up her sleeve as well.
In terms of, there's been, everyone's in the Sydney team has played really well, and you guys are a great unit. But speak for your own season, how have you looked at it, and what have you learnt throughout the season about yourself, and what have you think you've kind of improved on?
Yeah, it's kind of tricky sometimes, and it's so great that you're at a club for so many years. Like, this is my 5th season with Sydney FC now, and sometimes it does get tricky because you're in a comfortable environment. You're not always challenged as much as you probably could be if you were in a different environment with new players and a new coach. But Ante's always had belief in me, and I worked hard for the first couple seasons under him to secure a starting spot. So it was only kind of last season that I really secured that starting spot. I was always up against the likes of Matildas and internationals for those fullback positions. So I think it's really worked out well for me now. I think, fighting so hard for that spot for so long it means the world to me now that I can just get consistent games starting under Ante and just working hard for the team. It's a difficult position and you don't get much accolade for it, only when you get an assist or something like that. So you just got to, put your best performance in each week and see what comes of it.
Well, you did manage to get yourself an assist in the semi-final, so let us give you some accolades now.
Come on, Josh, I feel like
go respect the left backs.
We need some clapping, in the background. I mean, that's what's deserved.
I'll see what I have on the Stings.
Don't worry, I wasn't asking.
In terms of looking ahead after this season's over, do you have any plans for what you're going to do, or are you, maybe staying in Australia or looking to go overseas?
Yeah, I'm not sure yet, to be honest. I've tried the last couple of years to get overseas and it's proven trickier than I thought. Obviously, haven't had that national team experience yet, which doesn't help on your resume to get into clubs. But hoping that this year's different, and now that, COVID restrictions aren't as tight on clubs and travel overseas, we'll see. But otherwise, I'm just going to have a bit of time off after A-League season this season. I was, training and working hard all throughout lockdown last year, so I haven't really had a proper break for probably a year now. So that's the reality of women's football. We're going all year, but not really compensated for it. So I think I'll take a bit of time off and just catch up on myself. I'm pretty sore, pretty exhausted. It's been a big couple months, especially, the back end of the season when we were travelling so much as well. Everyone thinks we're so lucky to have all the home games at the start of the season, but you always know that it's going to bite you in the butt at the end of the season. So it has caught up on us, and I'll just probably try and recover and refresh, to be honest.
Extend the season, Josh, I believe is the motto and the hashtag that needs to continue going. Extend
I'm all
the season.
for that hashtag.
Absolutely.
I mean, I did want to ask you about, the sacrifices that A-League women's players have to make. You're often not full-time like your male counterparts. I mean, what are some of the examples that you can think of during the season of the lengths that you and your teammates have had to go to actually get this season completed and make it out onto the park every week? Because a lot of you have day jobs.
Yeah, a lot of us do. And, we're quite a young team still, so a lot of us are naturally still studying, as, a lot of the younger players are. So I think, for the likes of like Nat Tobe and myself and definitely a few others that have full-time, part-time jobs, it really does prove quite challenging, and your everyday male counterpart won't actually know what the lengths that we go to just try and put out the same performance as they do each week. And it's hard. I mean, I'm pretty sure Nat Tobin doesn't have any annual days leave left, and it's only April, and it's things like that people don't understand, that it's we do what we can to get out these A-League seasons and provide our best performances for everyone to watch on, but for the rest of the year it's a struggle, and then we reconvene at the end of the year, and it's you're just expected to do the same again, but it's never like I said, compensated. So it's a bit disappointing that we're still kind of in this same day and age of it's nearly 2023 and we have a World Cup next year, but we're still trying to fight to work and study and play our best football. So it does get pretty exhausting, and I think that's what takes a toll on a lot of us as well emotionally, but we love it and we've grown up doing it, so we don't really complain about it ever too much.
Do you think that is the first big step, is just extending the season, or do you think there are other things that probably need to get done first before we extend the season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously our biggest fight with extending the season is the financial, reasons behind it. But I think just actually having more games will develop us as players. I think that's the main argument there. We're not playing enough to ultimately develop our national team, or, widen your horizons by being able to play in bigger clubs overseas as well. We just don't develop as quickly as those European or American clubs do. with their players. So it definitely is, a conversation we've been having for probably too long now, and it either just needs to happen or not. There needs to be a plan for the next couple of years, I think, especially again with the World Cup. I mean, it's such a major tournament and it doesn't come around very often in Australia. So I think, there's obviously a massive team working behind it, but yeah, I'm hoping that a result like this comes out of it.
I mean, that's what we've been talking about, especially a few weeks ago when the Fiona Wirt story went around about her working at Macca's and all this. And, my thing was that there was a rebrand at the start of the season to call it the A-League as well, which implies a level of parity that probably doesn't exist yet. So maybe the next step is to actually, earn that title by treating the players a bit better. But first of all, we've got to celebrate the season, and that's in the form of the grand final this weekend. What's your prep, your superstitions the week leading up? Do you have a routine?
Not too superstitious, I'd like to say, but just focusing again at training this week. We played an internal game last week to, tick over the legs at the end of last week. But I think this week it's just the same old, treat it like any other game. That's what I like to do anyway. And of course, study the team that we're going to be versing, which is Victory again. So it'll be interesting to see, how they pull up after a few tough games in their semi-finals. But it sounds cliche, but just focus on what we have to do and individually make myself, as best as I can in my body, and just be ready for it'll be a big game. I already know it.
And so obviously, the grand final, you can't get too far ahead, but surely there are some level of celebrations that are kind of, in the back of your mind after, if you hopefully win. Can you allow yourself to even think about that for a second, or is athletes you got to go, no, we just got to focus on the game only?
Yeah, I don't know. It's tricky. You do really want to celebrate, we've achieved so much already. We've broken records this year. we're all still a young team. We've got players that are still under 18 that can't even celebrate properly with us. But they, it's been a massive effort for the last 6 months, and don't worry, we'll be celebrating no matter what. But just, I guess, focusing on Sunday first. You can't really look past it. It's not going to be an easy game in any regards, and they're going to be out to go back to back again, and we're going to be out for revenge. So, just doing what we can to prep for it, and then, celebrate properly afterwards.
Well, we haven't told you this yet, but our other guest on the show tonight is actually your direct opponent on the weekend in Lia Privitelli. So I'm sure you were watching with interest in the derby. She had a very good game. She's an absolute menace to play against, isn't she?
Yeah. And to be honest, she was, a missing link when they versed us in the season as well. She got subbed on later. I think she had been injured and on limited time. But she's an amazing player, and she's really coming into her strides this last bit of the season. So she's had some good semi-final performances, and I think obviously she links up so well with Melina Ayres as well, who's looking dangerous as ever, even though it's like a third game back, which just blows my mind. Their whole midfield, their front three, their back line, it's all good. It's hard to break down and it's hard to stop. And we experienced that last year in the grand final, trust me. So we'll be looking to shut down and, say hello to Lia for me.
Now, you're a cracker on Twitter. You have some great vibes on Twitter. Is media something that you are looking at potentially after, later down the track in your career?
Yeah, I think Twitter's, it's my little playground. I love Twitter recently. I'm able to, obviously we're, in the boundaries still. We can't say too much if we're contracted players at the moment, but obviously I just like to let people know that, we're still not at inequality for women's football, and I just like to remind people that this is the reality and this is what we have to deal with every day. We have to deal with games not being televised. We have to deal with last minute, pitch changes that wouldn't happen in the men's, and our semi-final not being broadcast, which still just makes me so angry, because half my family couldn't even watch that day, and it was such a cracking game and it wasn't on telly. And, as again, I repeat over and over again, we have a World Cup next year and people are meant to be, we're meant to ramp up the support and get people following our game. And if they can't see it, then how do we expect that? So I think, Twitter and media, and it's all fun and games, but it's just my way of getting out the message to the people that care.
She might be my new superhero. Josh might be my new favourite A-Leagues women's player after this interview. I can't lie. I every time she speaks, I'm like, you know what? That's the same thing I feel about football, and growing up and seeing, being a young girl, not really seeing that there are options available to get into professional football, and the fact that we're still here and we're not able to, the game's not growing at the rate it should be. It's quite disappointing, and people like Ali, speaking up about it does a really important thing.
Well, I think you and many people feel the same way, but not everyone has the platform to talk about it, so that's why I do it.
Well, we love how vocal you are, and we've loved your performances on the pitch this season as well. At the very least, the grand final will be on free-to-air TV, so your whole family will be able to tune in and watch you take on the Melbourne Victory. 4:05 p.m. kickoff on Sunday. Ali, best of luck in the title decider. Keep doing what you're doing, and we look forward to speaking with you again sometime down the track.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Lovely. All right.
When I'm up to the big football field in the sky, I just want people just to remember I told you so.
And suddenly the complexion of the game changes. Let's hope it doesn't, but this is the best period for Iran in the match. Ali danger for Australia here. The flag's down. It's an equaliser.
You just feel for them. Not just the boys. They are representative of so many people who make this game their life. It's just, I can't say anything.
All right. Especially as they have the impetus. Aloisi, Cahill, Tim Cahill has done it again. What a goal by Tim Cahill. 2-1 Australia. Oh, it's a wonderful moment in Kaiserslautern. And Tim Cahill has come off the bench and maybe won the match for the Socceroos.
You're listening to FNR, Football Nation Radio.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Pickett, she lays it off to Lia Privitelli. It's an absolute peach. Is driving. What a hit from Lia Privitelli. Wow.
And Sam Kerr has a hat-trick.
Miedemar, 1-0.
Okay, the time for talk is over. The time for action has begun. We have been teasing this segment for a few weeks now. Pokuah has taken her time, taken a long, hard think about some really tough selection dilemmas and come back with her team of the season. I've picked one as well, but Pokuah, I'm going to start with yours. Your A-League Women Team of the Year. Give it to me, please.
I feel really stressed out, and if there was a camera in here before the show, I was very stressed out trying to figure this out. In goals,
it was like a beautiful mind or something. I could see the equations running past your head. There's just bits of paper strewn, getting crumpled up and thrown in the trash can. It was quite a sight to see it in action. The process,
absolutely.
if you could call it that.
I'm going to go for formation. Firstly, is a 4-4-2 in a diamond, 4-4-2 diamond. The coach, obviously, if you've been listening to the show, you know that I'm a massive Alex Aparkas fan, so he gets the nod for coach of this team. In goals, Bubs, Melbourne City, obviously.
Melissa Barbieri.
Okay, you can do the the long names. Right back, Caitlin Torpey. She's done a tremendous job this season. I think her going forward has really helped City, especially in some tough spots. And she's played in a little different role than, she has before. So I really, really like that. At left back, somebody we spoke to just before, Ali Green. I think she had a tremendous season, and it was quite. Didn't want to put too many players from Sydney, but I thought she was definitely one of my favourites, and she was quite solid, and there wasn't much that I.
So recap: you got Bubs in goal.
Yep.
Ali Green left back.
Yep. Torpey.
Caitlin Torpey is your right back.
Yep. Okay. Now the centre back position, Josh, that was probably where I struggled the most to figure out who I wanted to put in. The first one is Nat Tobin. I know she had that mistake in the prelims.
Yep.
I don't know what we're calling it.
The preliminary final, I think, is the approved nomenclature.
I think she has probably been the most consistent of all the defenders that we've had all year, and she's led that defensive line of Sydney with multiple changes, and they've had very different lineups at stage, and she's been quite the one real constant in that side. Now, this next one, a little controversial, but Claudia Bunch, because I at times I criticise Victory's defence, but then I was looking at the stats. Victory have done very well and have kept a lot of clean sheets throughout this entire season, and one of the players who've played tremendously all year has got to be Claudia Bunch. Without her, I think it's like they struggle, and there were other defenders. I thought about Winona Heatley, Emma Checker in that position, but I thought for what she's done for Victory, Claudia Bunch probably gets the nod for me. Now, midfield is quite easy. I'm not going to lie to you. Midfield, 2 seconds.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. This was the easiest one. Number 10, we've got Mackenzie Hawkesby. I think she's been undoubtedly the best player this year. That's just my opinion.
Sure.
Number 6 role, Alex Chidiac, who should be playing for the Matildas.
Interesting.
Absolutely, that's the role.
Given she's barely played there this season, that's just a bit of opinion from you. You think registered shoots?
But she did play there a few times, and
yeah, okay.
I think that she's a number 6, and I think that's her best position. On the right hand side of that diamond, we've got Courtney Vine.
Oh, so it's a wide diamond. I see.
It's a wide diamond. It's quite wide. Vine, she's got a lot of goals. Obviously, she played for Matilda, so she was out of the squad for a little bit. But Vine's been tremendous, and she's probably one of Sydney's best players. Holly McNamara on that left hand side.
Okay, cool.
I know. I think that even though she hasn't played that many games, actually, when you look at it compared to the season, because she was out with the Matildas, and obviously she's got the injury late on. I think when she has played, she's been 10 out of 10, and she is the best player that City had all year. And if City made the top 4 and came second, I think it's quite hard to leave her out of the side. Up top, Fiona Wirtz and Chelsea Dorber.
That Adelaide
duo.
Strike duo.
I know it's controversial to leave Hannah Wilkinson out, but that front two of Adelaide, I think Adelaide deserve to be in the team of the season because they have been prolific together. They have combined quite well. And I think if my team was to go out on the weekend, we'd score a lot of goals and we'd defend pretty goddamn well.
Yeah, that's a compelling 11, I have to say.
With Alex Park as the coach?
Alex Park is the head coach.
Try stop us.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Anything you change? Oh, actually, Josh, tell us what your team were.
Well, they're fairly similar, although I had a crisis of trying to fit I had 12 players I wanted to get in, and they did not make sense as 11. I had to omit one, and then I just put the best players on the park and didn't care about the positions too much.
I just want people to know that Josh is going to say a player's name, but he did forget one player who I said was the best player of the whole entire year. So you did forget about him until I reminded you about that particular player.
Okay.
Are they still on the team?
Yes.
Okay. Whew. Scary.
All right. So Aparkis is the head coach for me as well because I just think he got so much out of that Perth Glory side. You could say Jeff Hopkins, they had an inconsistent year. You could say
Adrian Stenter.
You could say Stenter, the semi-final loss. If he'd won that game, that might push him over the top for me.
Yeah, but
But Adelaide folded in that fixture, and I just don't think they had an answer for Victory.
Yeah.
I mean, given what Victory's gone on to do against City, maybe that looks a little bit better, but it was on a knife edge there for me You know, you could also argue Ante Juric, but I just think they've got by far and away the best squad.
And the probably most consistent system, you know.
I mean, giving it to Ante Juric is kind of like giving it to Rado Vidosic 2 years ago.
Yeah.
When he had a team full of Matildas. You know, that's how good this Sydney FC side is on paper. So I'm going to go through Melissa Barbieri's
formation, please. What's formation, Josh?
I will reveal as we go. Okay. In goals, Melissa Barbieri, I am in agreement. Thought she had an incredible year after Sally James had that injury. She wasn't even supposed to be the first choice.
Yep.
She was supposed to be assistant coach / backup. She had almost a career year. You know, it was crazy. The amount of incredible saves she made, the double save late against Brisbane Roar, tipping it over the crossbar against Sydney FC at home. Yep. Like, there's so many memorable moments. I don't think any goalkeeper had memorable moments like that. You know, you could argue Jada Wyman kept a lot of clean sheets. She had less to do. She had very
and that's
many fewer saves to make.
The Sydney defence, the Jada Wyman didn't have a lot to do at stages of the season.
The back line is where I struggled.
Me too. I
really
it was the last
bit
that I could fill out.
And, you know, maybe that shows a lack of depth in the Matildas in the defence, you know, which we've talked about a lot this year. So the talent coming through, we need to see more players. Especially, you know, at centre back, at left back. I think we're a little thin. But I've gone for a back three.
Okay. I was thinking about that, but I
slightly controversial back three. But Ali Green, before the break, told us that Charlie's Rule can play anywhere.
Okay.
She's the most... So I've put her on the right of the back three.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
You want to have that player who's confident on the ball, who can step into midfield if you're playing with three at the back. And she is that player.
Are you picking three centre backs now?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
In the middle of the in the back three is Nat Tobin.
Yeah, fair, very fair.
I initially said the semi-final slip. You know, the error rules are out, but then I looked at Sydney FC's defensive record, and she's been the rock. There, and the leader as well. So on the left of the back three, I've got Claudia Bunge as well.
Yeah.
Thought she coped really well with having so many different defensive partners over the course of the season until Brooke Hendricks finally came in for Melbourne Victory. Losing Kayla Morrison was
and I think we spoke
a big blow.
Yeah, I think when we spoke about it, I can't remember what game they had coming up, but we were like, Claudia Bunge is still away with the New Zealand national team. We were quite concerned about their ability to play, and that's a testament to how well she's done throughout the entire season. And, you know,
her distribution's good as well.
Yeah,
she put Millionaire Ayres through on goal on the weekend.
And I will say, I was looking at her stats. Most of, over half her passes are actually going forward, and there's a tendency with a lot of defenders to go sideways, and, you know,
she's
backwards.
She's very
you know, direct, and she wants to go forward.
Now, this formation, it's going to sound pretentious here, but it's inspired by Marcelo Bielsa's Chile side that I loved watching in the World Cup in 2010.
Let me just draw this so I can visually see this. What's the go, Josh? Come on.
I mean, I guess you'd call it a 3-6-1.
3 in the midfield and 6 up front.
No, 3-6-1. 6 in the midfield.
I thought you were 6 up front. Let's get it.
So it's a diamond.
Okay.
There are
two.
Yeah, diamond, a narrow diamond, 2 wide players that are very aggressive wing backs.
Yeah.
And 1 pivot player up front.
Okay. Wait. Yep, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
So, yeah, it adds up to 11.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, okay. I got an extra circle for no reason. Ignore me.
All right. You following?
Yeah, I'm following you. Okay.
Base of the midfield, someone I think you overlooked unfairly, Rebecca Stott.
I didn't overlook her, Josh. I don't want anybody to come for me thinking that I'm, you know, don't even. I have a membership in the Rebecca Stott fan club, okay? I just thought that if I went with my formation, she couldn't be in there because I think you're going to cheat. But go on.
I am definitely cheating.
Yeah.
I'm definitely cheating. I acknowledge this. On either side of that narrow diamond,
you didn't even put them in right positions. It's okay.
I've gone with Dylan Holmes and Alex Chidiac.
Both who we had on the show, who were both fantastic.
Chids, I think it speaks for herself that her performance on the weekend was unbelievable.
Yeah.
She's been the heartbeat of that team.
It did hurt me to leave Dylan Holmes out of that side. I thought she's been very excellent this season.
And Adelaide's turnaround in form came after she slotted into the lineup in round 4 or 5. You know, they were pretty bad before she arrived. And as soon as she slotted in there, she hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I've actually got 3 Adelaide players in this team.
Yeah, I got 2.
providing pace out wide.
Is this the narrow?
No. These are the two wide players, the two wingers.
Wide wingers, or just in your diamond?
You know, they're just. I guess they're not in the diamond.
Oh, okay. Yep. The far ones. Yep.
Maybe it's easier to think of it as a 3-5-2. Is that easier?
Honestly, yes, probably.
3-5-2 with one withdrawn striker.
I'm just so confused. But you should have just done us. We should have just picked the same formation.
All right.
Okay,
so middle of the midfield is Stott, Chids, and Holmes.
Yep.
The wide midfielders.
Yep.
Courtney Vine and Chelsea Dorber.
I know exactly what's about to happen. You're a crazy person. But go forth.
Okay.
Two fans. So wait. Courtney Vine and Chelsea Dorber.
Yep. Whichever flank, I don't care.
I've got them both, so I have no issues. But I know your last. Go, Josh. Say it with your chest.
The number 10, I guess, or the second striker is Mackenzie Hawkesby. Love her getting into the box, score goals.
Who you forgot about when you first started.
I did forget about her. And the number 9, the leading scorer in the competition, is Fiona Wirtz.
So I just want everybody to know that, I picked, honestly, it's not a 10 out of 10 team, but it's like a solid team, yeah? Josh here, Holly McNamara is not in the squad. Forget everything else he said. Holly McNamara is not in the squad. So I don't know if he has any credibility. I don't know if we can really trust him anymore. I don't know if he can be on the show anymore is what I'm trying to say.
She played 8 games.
But she was fantastic in all of those 8 games.
I don't control the injuries.
How many games I don't make
the rules.
Well, how many games exactly did Alex Chidiac play? I don't think it could have been that much more games.
Let me give me a second.
No, because I think that by ruling Holly McNamara because of the amount of games she's played, I think Alex Chidiac hasn't played them. And Rebecca Stott also didn't play a few games as well.
Well, it's only a 14-game season. If you miss nearly half of it, you're on notice.
She was with the Matildas, Josh. Is that not? And she played herself into that Matilda squad. Is that not?
Chids has played 11. It's a big difference in a 14-game season.
Gosh, I don't know. I don't know about that, Josh. I think it's very harsh to leave her out. I think
It is harsh.
But
if she doesn't get injured, she gets in, no questions asked. It's just literally a threshold, 10-game threshold. Otherwise, you're not in. That was my incredibly arbitrary rule that I decided to make it easy for myself.
Okay. Lucky you're not making the whatever. But okay, just I'm saying that Mackenzie Hawkesby has been, I think, my player of the season because I think Sydney FC without her are not the team they are. I think it's shown multiple times when other teams have locked Mackenzie Hawkesby up and Sydney haven't been able to play the way that she's played. They've played. Sorry. Who is your player of the season, or do you not have them, that person?
I think you know what the answer is.
Is it Ali Shea?
It's Chip.
Of course it is. I'm not surprised at all. Not surprised.
I don't think we even need to elaborate. I don't think we need to do any more Chids propaganda on this program. I just think she's been the best player in the league.
Yeah.
Just on quality, not in terms of impact on a team or context of the season, just in terms of week to week. If you go to the backyard and you're picking teams and you've got 2 captains, who do you pick first? You pick Alex Chidiac. So
I think Mackenzie Hawkesby's
she's been great. She's had a great season.
But Fiona Wirtz also deserves an incredible shout. She's had an incredible season also.
Yeah, she's been unbelievable. I mean, she's had a couple of big scoring sprees, which I guess it kind of counts against her in a way because she crashed in 5 goals in one game and a hat-trick in another. So the goals tally starts to look a little bit less impressive if you're beating up on some of the smaller teams. That's why I don't have her as player of the season, but she still starts up top of my team of the year. But Pokuah, we've got to go because we've got Oz Football Hour coming up afterwards.
I'm very excited for you. No Jason today, but Lockie is Mr.
Lockie is stepping in and we're going to be talking.
Some would say he's quite a modelish man, but, I wouldn't say that.
I think, he's a model for the rest of the presenters to follow, right?
Absolutely.
Can't wait for the Oz Football Hour straight after this. Stick around.
Pickett, she lays it off. Teresa Polias.